Hello.
Hello.
Ground control to Major Tom.
How about it, Marcus?
It's good.
All right, good deal. All right, so, yes, I'm Jared. From this area, I spent the last 23 years as a professional wrestler. I don't know if you heard that part or not. Three-sport athlete in high school, graduated from Camden County. Yeah, I've been around forever. Berrien County as well. I live there, work up in the area. So, again, excited to be here. I think Tuesday we had a lot of fun over at JoJo's, and tonight we're at Mama June's with Mama T. So, excited about that.
I was an athlete in high school too. Does anybody know that?
Yes.
Yes, played
He was on the
softball.
state softball team.
Very first
Really?
state championship softball team for Berrien County.
Wow.
I was the pitcher.
And yes,
Wow.
Marcus, I'm still here.
Jimmy,
Okay,
Yogi
and
is still here. He's behind
Jimmy's in the
scenes,
back.
making sure. Well, he was supposed to be making sure we had sound, but now we
No,
got
I'm
it.
learning.
He's learning. He's learning
He
something.
learned.
All right, y'all. We're gonna get into a few things. First of all, a little breaking news I just heard before we came on. Mr. Johnny Manziel, Mr. Football. That we don't, I never did like him anyway.
Johnny Football.
Johnny Football, who failed in the NFL. Anyway, he admits that while he was in college at Texas A&M, he made a decent living selling his autograph. I am not surprised.
Like probably a lot of guys that are not going to admit that they did that, but he's got nothing to lose at this point. I think is Johnny building boats at Chaparral maybe. He's definitely not playing sports, so
Wasn't he playing Canadian
I
football
didn't-
for a while?
yeah.
No, he was playing in that other league, the Spring League or something like that.
Not the XFL, the
No,
Vince McMahon
Spring
league.
League this past year he played in.
The one that went under within 4 or 5 games. I'm not sure. I
I
don't
just
know.
remember seeing him once or twice. But
Yeah, he didn't make it.
He didn't.
He didn't make it.
He
And
claims, though, that he did not take one dime before he won his Heisman.
and why would anybody want your autograph before
Survey
then?
says that's probably not true, but okay.
But he
But now, they took Reggie Bush's Heisman from him for something like that, so
yeah.
he could lose his Heisman
John,
if he admitted to
yeah.
doing it before.
it says he made a decent living selling autographs, but never took $1. So how do you make a decent living?
Maybe they
That
paid him in
never took
pizza.
$1 was an asterisk before I won my Heisman.
Maybe it was never took more than a couple.
Maybe it was they paid him in Jello shooters or
Well,
something.
he did enjoy those.
Yeah.
A lot.
Hey, I take what you can get, I guess. I don't think he probably did anything that any other guy doesn't do. They're just not going to admit to it.
Well, that's true. He's just doing anything to stay in the headlines.
Yeah, that's a good job because we let out with him. So way to go, Johnny.
Well, Johnny. Some woman married him. Anyway.
Did they really?
Yeah, really.
Well, his family's wealthy.
And I'm single. I don't get it.
Hear that, ladies?
His family's wealthy anyway.
Mr. Saturday Night Single.
Yeah, I'm single. Johnny's not. And how does that work? I don't know.
I got the hookup. Hit me up.
That's right.
Anyway, let's talk about some baseball. That's your
Okay.
favorite sport, baseball.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit last Tuesday night about the power rankings. Roger and I did, and who was hot. And we talked about if you missed it, the Ozuna from the Atlanta Braves.
Braves are trying to figure out how to get rid of him now.
It's going to be pretty easy, I think. I don't know about the money-wise, but I don't think they have a choice. I think everybody in the free world agrees that that's not tolerable, and you have to go from your job when you do something like that.
I mean, he's only batting .213, so that's not going to be a gigantic loss.
No, and maybe he was frustrated. I don't know yet. No, absolutely not. I don't know. To me, they should have already released him. I don't know what the holdup is. Maybe Jimmy has some insight on why they.
You know, it's always going to be the Players Association.
Maybe it's just a formality that you have to wait it out. I don't
What's
know.
the dude's name in the football who beat his pregnant wife and then got signed with the Dallas Cowboys and then, I don't know, he got signed with several teams.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now, it was Ray Rice that beat his wife.
On an elevator.
He
He
Yeah.
never played.
There
Again.
was a defensive guy. Played for Carolina, beat his wife, then got signed with the Cowboys.
A big deal, and I can't remember his name, but yes, you're correct. We need a stat boy to give us those. Did you?
Somebody with a whiteboard to hold this information up.
I also seen in the MLB headlines because you're in the midst of a season, but the Cleveland Indians have joined the wagon of changing their name. So they have been the Indians since
I think I'm
they've been since 1915. They've been the Indians, and after this season, I think they're going to change it. From what they say, they have allowed the people of Cleveland have come up with 1,200 names. My favorite, in 1865, they were the Cleveland Spiders. Of course, now you could offend some arachnophobia people, so you may not go that route.
Well,
you know.
the Jacksonville AAA team is called the Jumbo Shrimp.
Yeah.
There's an option for you. They can call that.
You could do it. We could take that a lot of places, but we won't. But you could be sponsored by Raid if you were the Cleveland Spiders or something, you know. Or I don't know. So I guess before we get, I don't know how many more teams have names that are on the offensive.
You gotta throw the Braves up there.
The Brave. I mean, there's them, but where do you take it? How far do you go? You can find a lot of things offensive, and I certainly am. If you're offended by something, I don't want to downplay that, but at some point, I mean, you're talking about something that's hundreds of years old that is, Washington couldn't even come up with a team in football. They're the Washington football team.
I was going to say, are we going to be the Cleveland baseball team?
Yeah, I don't know. That's so.
I mean, there's got to be some name, like, I don't know.
They got 1,200 to pick from,
The
so
Cubs, the juniors, I don't know.
maybe they'll be the Cleveland LeBrons.
The cockroaches, I don't know, something.
So.
That'll offend the cockroaches.
No, so but anyway, that was my major league story that I had.
It's an interesting. I had not heard that story, but you know,
And
I've been gone because I've been working.
Well, the other thing that I read recently was that the Giants in San Francisco are having a Pride uniform for this month. Yeah, they are. Again, whatever floats you, but it just. I guess it progresses that way.
It can't
But
be worse than when Pittsburgh does the throwback. My mic is on. I hear my mic. It's on.
So, but yeah, you're in the swing of MLB season, and we talked about that earlier. You've got teams jockeying for seeing where they are. Everybody's in contention in June still.
Nobody's really running away with it.
No,
Looking at all these.
Yeah, and usually after the All-Star break, and Roger and I talked about that Tuesday, you start sort of seeing who's got what and making that final push to September. And baseball is a streaky sport. You can sneak in as a wild card team and just obliterate everybody you play. And teams with 110 wins get in a slump and they get bounced. So
It's still early.
Yeah, baseball's kind of like that. It's a long season, 162 games.
I don't see how
So long,
It's
yeah.
a miracle not more of them go down with injuries.
Yeah, well,
They do.
if you stand in right field and the ball never comes to you, it's hard to.
That is true.
It's kind of hard unless you catch your cleat on some grass or something. But I know I'm kidding.
It's
But
the catchers. I don't see how they make.
yeah, and those guys that pitch. I mean, it's a lot to it, but it's a moneymaker. 162 games. I mean, you're talking a lot. So.
But in comparable to the other sports, they don't make that much.
No.
I mean, there's a few of them that make really good bank. But
Yeah.
other than that, they don't make the money that football and basketball players
No,
do.
I'm not going to cry for them though. They get to play. They get to play sports for a living. That's fantastic. Speaking of making money, people, Coach K in college basketball announced he's retiring.
Oh, really?
At the end of next season. One of his assistant coaches, John Scher, I think that's how you say it, will be taking over for Coach K after what will be 42 years at Duke.
Nobody stays that long.
He started at Duke March of 1980, which I was 1 month old whenever Coach Jimmy Carter was the president when Coach K took over at Duke. I think 1,170 wins for Coach K, about 200 more than second place. I don't think anybody will ever catch him.
No.
The guys that are behind him are either retired or I think Coach K's 74, so they're in his age range. So hats off to him.
Yeah.
And one thing about, and a lot of guys don't like Duke. I don't. Never a scandal. Never. He always seemed to put out good guys. Christian Laettner was hated, but that's because he had the 90210 haircut.
Yeah.
And even though it was hot, the thing back then. Grant Hill, he had a lot of really great players, and he changed with the times. When kids were staying 4 years, he had those, and then the one and dones. I think 2015, he won a national championship with 3 or 4 guys that were one and done. They went to the NBA, the pros. So, again, what a fantastic career. Probably next to John Wooden, got to be the greatest college coach of all time. But yeah, that made news as of yesterday, I believe.
Well, good. He's been a solid career, man. It's like Pop in the NBA.
Yeah,
At
yeah.
Popovich, you just don't make them like that anymore.
No, and he's speaking of the NBA. Other than the playoffs, Danny Ainge is another guy, executive for stepping down after 18 years. You turned me down, Jimmy. Can you turn me back up? Can you turn me back up?
They're playing with our sound.
Yeah, a little more.
Marcus says it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Yeah, turn it up a little bit more. Can you see me? Okay, yeah, that's better. Danny Ainge, after 18 years with the Celtics as an executive vice president, I think, or maybe president of basketball, GM, stepping down. They just got bounced yesterday out of the playoffs.
Yeah, they did.
So it's a good time to quit your job whenever. But he did win a championship in 2008. He brought in Garnett and Ray Allen, and he had Paul Pierce. I remember Danny Ainge because, again, I told my age earlier, as a feisty little basketball player. When he was with the Celtics, and then I really remember him in his son's days when he was a 3-point shooter, but he was wiry. And but anyway, yeah, talking about Pop, I think Pop and we have one other executive that were there longer, but Danny Ainge, 18 years with the Celtics, so he's out of there. You want to lead in with some basketball?
He's gonna go live his life now.
I would. I don't know that I would have done. Let me make the money they make, and you don't have to worry about seeing me.
Pop, I don't know if I could have stayed there.
You have to love it. I mean,
NBA last night, the Hawks eliminated the Knicks.
there you go, Jimmy.
The Atlanta
The Hawks.
That's right, I told you.
Don't get too excited.
round.
You
Riding the back of Trae Young.
Trey Young.
and several others.
Oh yeah, riding the back of Trae Young.
So where do they go from
At
here?
least they stayed on the court for the whole game.
That is true.
Somebody
Ooh.
else didn't.
Trae Young
Oh.
put down
Somebody
41
else.
points last night.
Somebody else just walked off the court the last 5 minutes of their game.
Who was that? I didn't see that.
Go ahead.
Tell it. Nah, go ahead. I'll let you tell it.
Supposedly the GOAT,
Yeah.
when they was losing last night,
not
they
gonna
said
talk
he
about the
walked
GOAT.
off.
They're
We're going to have to get into the GOAT because we're going to get
The Goats are about to get bounced. The Lakers are
Not
behind
the
the
GOAT,
Suns.
but he's the GOAT. But
Well-
he's the GOAT.
The Goat's about to lead his flock home.
Well, have you seen where AD has said that tonight's Game 6, he's going to leave it into the hands of the doctors whether he plays tonight, which seems like a cop-out to me.
It does, but you know what? You gotta take care of your body.
Yeah, but I mean it's your job. If you can go, you know you're you're growing better than the doctor does. I mean surely.
A couple years ago, he kind of got pushed back early.
That's
and
right.
went right back out.
But
Out for a whole year.
I admire that because you're paid a pretty good bit of money to play the game. If you think you can go, you should go. I think KD thought he could go. I admire that. Obviously, it backfired, but what kind of a hero had he been had it turned the other way? So, to me, AD, maybe he doesn't want to be on the court when the inevitable is going to happen. I don't think the Lakers are good enough.
But you remember that same season for the Warriors, Klay Thompson tore his ACL.
Yes.
Walked right back on the court to shoot his free throws and tried to play.
Yes.
They had
And
to pull him off.
right. And that's what we want as sports fans. You want to see it's entertainment. We talked about it the other day, but I just can't believe that a guy I know if my groin's well enough for me to play, especially if we're eliminated, I've got all season or off. I've got all off season to heal. If we lose tonight, I want to go down. You're the defending NBA champions. It's the Astros championship to me, though. You got the bubble. They played in the bubble. I mean,
All the championships last year were kind of ashes.
yeah, but I just, for the Lakers, for me, LeBron's first year, they don't even make the playoffs. Then they get the bubble title. And then this year, as a 7 seed, about to be bounced in the first round, who are they exactly?
By the Suns.
By the
Bounced by the Suns.
by the Suns. And Cedric Sabalas, who retired in 1993 probably. I went old school on you, Jimmy. Did you like
The
that?
Grizzlies
Yeah.
were out last night, too. The Jazz took care of them.
And the Jazz are I mean, it's easy to go number 1 seed, but the Jazz, we talked the other night too. I think they've got a legitimate shot in the West of coming out of that side and giving Brooklyn a run. I think that's the two. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but wouldn't surprise me if Philly beat the Nets. Or I think that's the conference finals there, obviously. And on the other side, the Nuggets. Nuggets are up 3-2 on Portland. So the West is a lot tighter. The West is a lot tighter than the East, and there's not a dime worth of difference between a bunch of them, not to me, that I could tell.
Yeah.
In the Western Conference. In the East, I just think the Nets are built. They've got that 6-man,
It's in there.
Yeah, they've got that 6-man crew going, like we talked the other night. When Blake Griffin is your 6th man, you've got a pretty good starting 5. So
Griffin's watched it.
yeah, but he was the Pistons.
That leadership too, and that veteran
Eh,
leadership.
Well, on the Pistons last year, he was their best player. So to be the 6th best player on somebody else's, when you can go to a crummy team and you're their best player, they're stacked. That's what the NBA does anymore. You're
True, but that's Blake Griffin just jumping on the
Yeah.
team trying to win him a ring.
That's
why.
well. I think Kyrie and Kevin Durant, all those guys went there knowingly that was the destination. I don't know if maybe they get tax breaks and they go, let's go here, all of us together.
They say Kyrie went to
Boston.
no, where did Kyrie go? Oh yes, Kyrie. No, I'm thinking about Kawhi Leonard. Sorry,
Kawhi Leonard.
I'm thinking about Kawhi.
But I
Kawhi
think
went to Toronto where there was nothing.
he got he
won a ring.
he won a ring. He did win a ring, and he got.
Jump on the team already later.
No, but that's few and far between in the NBA. I think they all get together in the off season and go, hey, why don't we play together and try to win one? And LeBron begs whoever will play with him. I think if you'll just come play with me, please, we'll try to win a championship.
Didn't he bring
Sam,
almost
my
the
mic is
whole?
not working.
I don't know what to tell him. I mean, I got you as high as it'll go.
I hear her fine.
I mean, I hear me too, but he says he can't hear me.
So, yeah, I think LeBron will bring anybody that'll play with him.
But didn't he bring almost half the Chicago, Cleveland team?
He did, and I think that first year didn't pan out too well for him. But and we can have a discussion about him probably every show we do, as far as I'm concerned. There's no new Tebow news, is there? He's still on the team. Has anybody had a Tebow watch? Tebow watch. We got to keep them interested in that.
You know what? I ain't mad at Tebow for trying.
Me neither. Me neither. I think he makes the
And
team.
I honestly ain't mad at him if they keep him on the team.
No.
'Cause if nothing else, he's gonna
Sell tickets.
Yes.
sell tickets,
Jerseys.
some level-headed leadership to that team.
Can you imagine how many teal-colored 85s are going to be out there
Oh,
in
my
the stands? I mean, for a guy that probably won't get 6 or 10, 12 snaps a game, the whole crowd will have his jersey
That many
on.
snaps,
He might get on the punt return team. We're not
He's
sure.
Smart. He went to Jacksonville the first time, and but
Well, yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
We had that discussion.
Yeah, and we can have that discussion a lot. People are down on him, but I'm okay with it. Just like we talked the other day, I'm okay with that. The French Open started for those tennis people. All 3 of tennis
But,
people out there.
Naomi Osaka withdrew.
Ah.
She refused to do the media rounds. She said she was struggling with some depression, had some mental health issues. Said that the media just made it all worse, and they fined her like $15,000, and then she just pulled out. Said she's not gonna do it at all.
Wow, and that's a major. I mean, that's a big. And with the Williams sisters gone, it's kind of a wide open tourney now. I mean, a lot of the girls that are there, the ladies that play, they're on equal footing. I don't know who the favorite would be, other than I mean, yeah. I mean, after she's went out, I mean, who's there to go to point at and go, hey, she's the. I mean, it's a wide, which makes it interesting. It makes it fun. On the men's side, you had Rafael Nadal cruise in the first round. 6-love, 7-5, 6-2. Novak Djokovic, same thing. He cruised. I think in the men's side, it's more predictable. I mean, those two are probably, unless something crazy happens, they're probably your men's final. And Nadal 13-0 in finals in the French Open. So he's and nothing against Roger Federer, but I mean, I think he owned Federer when they played each other. Yeah, in anywhere, clay, in Wimbledon, in the grass, anywhere, hard court, he owned him. And I mean, Djokovic is right there. It has to stink for him.